Santa Cecilia in Trastevere is a 5th-century church in Rome, Italy, in the Trastevere rione, devoted to the Roman martyr Saint Cecilia. History: the first church on this site was founded, probably in the 3rd century, by Pope Urban I. It was devoted to the young Roman woman Cecilia, martyred it is said under Marcus Aurelius Severus Alexander. Tradition holds that the church was built over the house of the saint. The baptistry associated with this church, together with the remains of a Roman house of the early empire, was found during some excavations under the chapel of the relics. By the late 5th century, at the Synod of 499 of Pope Symmachus, the church is mentioned as the titulus Cecilia. On the 22nd of November 545, Pope Vigilius was celebrating the feast of the saint in the church when the emissary of Empress Theodora, Anthemia Scribo, captured him. Pope Paschal I rebuilt the church in 822, and moved here the relics of Saint Cecilia from the catacombs of St. Calixtus. More restorations followed in the 18th century. The cardinal priest who is currently assigned to the titulus Saint is Gualtiero Bassetti. Among the previous titulars are Pope Stephen III, Pope Martin IV, Adam Easton, Pope Innocent VIII, Thomas Wolsey, Pope Gregory XIV, Michele Mazzarino, Giuseppe Doria Pamphili, Mariano Rampolla, and Carlo Maria Martini. Since 1527, a community of Benedictine nuns has lived in the monastery next to Santa Cecilia and has had charge of the basilica. The inscriptions found in Santa Cecilia, a valuable source illustrating the history of the church, have been collected and published by Vincenzo Forsler. Art and architecture. The church has a facade built in 1725 by Ferdinando Fuga, which encloses a courtyard decorated with ancient mosaics, columns and acanthorus. Its decoration includes the coat of arms and the dedication to the titular cardinal who paid for the facade, Francesco Cardinal Acquaviva d'Aragona. Among the artifacts remaining from the 13th century edifice are a mural painting depicting the final judgment by Pietro Cavaliani in the choir of the monks, and the ciborium in the presbytery by Arnolfo di Cambio. The Gothic ciborium is surrounded by 4 marble columns, white and black, decorated with statuettes of angels, saints, prophets, and evangelists. The apse has remains of 9th-century mosaics depicting the Redeemer with Saints Paul, Cecilia, Paschal I, Peter, Valerian, and Agatha. The ceiling of Cappella dei Ponziani was decorated God the Father with evangelists by Antonio del Massaro. The Cappella del Reliqui was frescoed and provided with an altarpiece by Luigi Vanvitelli. The nave is frescoed with the Apotheosis of Santa Cecilia by Sebastiano Conca. The church contains 2 altarpieces by Guido Reni, Saints Valerian and Cecilia, and a decapitation of Saint Cecilia. Among the most remarkable works is the graphic altar sculpture of Saint Cecilia by the late Renaissance sculptor Stefano Maderno. The pavement in front of the statue encloses a marble slab with Maderno's sworn statement that he has recorded the body as he saw it when the tomb was opened in 1599. The statue depicts the 3 axe strokes described in the 5th-century account of her martyrdom. It also is meant to underscore the incorruptibility of her cadaver, which miraculously still had congealed blood after centuries. This statue could be conceived as proto-Baroque, since it depicts no idealized moment or person, but a theatric scene, a naturalistic representation of a dead or dying saint. It is striking because it precedes by decades the similar high Baroque sculptures of Gian Lorenzo Bernini and Melchiorre Caffa. The crypt is also noteworthy, decorated with cosmatesque styles, containing the relics of Saint Cecilia and her husband St. Valerian. In the apse of the crypt there are remains of an altar whose inscription indicates that it was dedicated by Pope Gregory VII on the 3rd of June 1080. Bibliography. Jacobus Laedicius Saint A. Mart. Acta a Transtiberina Basilica Tovols. Vincenzo Forsler. Inscrizione del Cis di Roma. pp. 17-46. Bertha Ellen Lovewell, The Life of Saint Cecilia, Torquato Picarelli, Basilica e Casa Romana di Santa Cecilia in Trastevere, Torquato Picarelli, Monografia Storica Aneddotica della Chiesa, Crypta e Casa di Cecilia in Trastevere, Nida Parmigiani and Alberto Pronti, Il Complesso di Cecilia in Trastevere. Anna Maria Panzera, The Basilica of Santa Cecilia in Trastevere, Valentina Oliva, La Basilica di Santa Cecilia.